Twitter. I hope we're live on Twitter. I think we are now live on Twitter, folks. Welcome to Gamcast for Friday evening. We're here today to talk about the January 6th committee and whether or not they have immunity because Trump has threatened to prosecute them. Let's listen to one of the committee members here. This is a question by Nicole Wallace. Take a listen.
Congresswoman, I want to start with you because you and the other members of the January 6th Select Committee have been publicly targeted or threatened or warned that Trump is coming for you. I wonder, as the polls appear pretty close, if you've done anything to prepare for that, if you've retained counsel or updated your passport, or if you're doing anything differently.
Now, folks, before we get to Representative Lofgren's answer, I want you to understand how brain dead these people are. Okay, the only reason this question is being asked of her is because Democrats have gone fascist and attacked Trump and others. Okay, they're the ones that started this nonsense. All right, we didn't used to do this. Right, you had a committee. Even if you did some bad things with the committee, it was just your right. It was seen as your right to do that kind of stuff. Okay, but I want you to listen to her answer here because there's a big fat lie in it. One. Number two, she does have immunity. I'm going to grant you that. But number three, Democrats themselves have opened up a crevice which might swallow Lofgren here. She might want to actually take back this answer, but take a listen to her answer anyway.
No, I haven't. If you look in the Constitution, there is only one mention of immunity, and that's for members of Congress.
All right, let me back. I wasn't going to do it in this order, but I changed my mind. Let's go ahead and do it right here. I pulled up the Constitution. This is the National Constitution Center. You can pull it up. Just put in Google text of Constitution, and you will get several places where you can search the entire text. I'm going to do it right here in live time. Immunity. See if it comes up. It ain't going to come up. Right there you go. Boom. Immunity does not exist in the Constitution. Period. Zip, zilch, nada. It doesn't exist. It is a judicial creation. Now, that being said, even though she's lying about the Constitution, she's lying about the Constitution, she wants to make it sound like congressional members get immunity, but judges don't, and presidents don't, and Trump claiming immunity is absurd. Duh. Of course, if the Congress gets immunity, the president gets immunity, right? And even Biden, I've done many a broadcast about this, even Biden's administration, as fascist as they are, at the Supreme Court admitted that the president had immunity. Now, they claimed it was very, very limited, but they claimed he had it. Anyway, let's listen to the rest of this, and I'll wrap up the rest of the broadcast.
Official capacity, we may not be held to answer at any other place. So assuming under a
Now, there she goes. And she's right. Okay, so folks, if you go to the well of the Congress and you start to say a bunch of things, even if you're defaming somebody, even if you're being fraudulent, even if you're inciting violence, unfortunately, you do have absolute immunity. Now, that was the old rule. Now, let's tell you the third thing I was going to tell you. I'll show you the first two. She's lying about immunity, ain't in the Constitution. It's judicial creation. Yes, she has it. Can they prosecute her for acts of the January 6th committee? My belief is no. However, there's a big but here, and they created it. Old Jack Smith, right? They had to bring him in. Well, the Supreme Court should have just said there's immunity, but if you're impeached, you get around it, right? That would have been a better workable solution in my view. They didn't. They came up with official acts and then a blend of official acts. So for the official acts of interviewing Cassidy Hutchinson or calling together and having this charade they had, they are going to have immunity for that. There will be no question. However, what if, by way of example, they said, hey, yeah, those transcripts that we're going to turn over, but the video, go ahead and delete that. Delete that video. Is that an official act? Now, arguably it would be, but not under the Smith standard. So I think they've walked into it here, and it could be some interesting times if the polls end up being correct and Trump wins in November, which is what I think is going to happen if the election were today. Anyway, if you like this content, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And if you do, I will see you on the next one.